World leaders view the process of effecting change from the wrong side. They tend to set a policy, and then when people don't respond positively, they move on to rolling out incentives. When that doesn't work, they turn to persuasion. However, if they launched with persuasion in the first place, the outcomes would be entirely different. Here's a case in point. As governments desperately sought solutions to bring COVID-19 under control, they first set targets to reduce the rate of infection. And when the vaccines were introduced, they set inoculation targets. But uptake was slow. They then introduced mandates and incentives, but still didn't hit the targets expected. Finally, they have realized that they must persuade the public that the vaccines are the only way back to some kind of normalcy. Rotary is not immune to this behavior. The Council of Legislation took the extraordinary step in the evolution of Rotary by recognizing Rotaractors as a distinct membership type and not just a program of the organization. We first enacted the policy at the Council of Legislation, and when we found that many did not understand it, we began to provide some incentives. But Alex, have we done enough to promote the benefits of this action?
Well, Joe, while we could discuss the benefits of strengthening the chain across Rotary, Rotaract, and Interact for several hours, let's jump in to make the most of our time together. I get the impression that the only way to develop a convincing argument is together. So, do you have any insights that we can start with?
Yes, I do. As we manage communication with a diverse set of audiences, and especially an intergenerational group of interactors, Rotaractors, and Rotarians, it is necessary to consider the universal motivations for engagement. And here's what I think they are. We all want impact for the effort that we put into significant projects. We want to see the world change, and we want our lives to change too. We want to be recognized for the work that we do and derive a sense of satisfaction out of it. We want to work within a structure and a network that expands our boundaries, as such makes us stronger. We prefer to be equal partners with other collaborators of social change. We want to develop ideas and drive initiatives jointly. We want to grow our capabilities, be it from learning from others or having others learn from us. What do you think, Alex?
You are exactly right, Joe. And if we take a moment to truly look at the Interact, Rotaract, and Rotary experiences, there are so many aspects of this adventure that we have in common with one another. This includes our motivations as well as our aspirations and expectations as to what the experience in our organization can look like.
In addition, people perform much better when they are held to a higher standard. For example, the Rotaract Club of Naivasha successfully applied for a grant under the Rotary UN Environment Partnership in our district. They wrote a project proposal that outshone many Rotary clubs, and their determination has resulted in one of the showcase projects in the program. Based on this, the steering committee will make it a grant requirement that Rotary clubs collaborate with the Rotaract clubs in writing the applications and implementing the projects. Here's another example. In 2018, the governor and the Rotaract representative in our district had regular planning meetings, and they also planned the district conference together, with a Rotarian and a Rotaractor acting as co-chairs. It wasn't enough just to invite them to the planning meetings, but it was crucial to act as equal partners and generate ideas together. The results speak for themselves, as 66 new clubs were chartered within the Rotary year 2019-2020. There were 20 new Rotary clubs, 16 new Rotaract clubs, and 30 new Interact clubs. And last year, our district incorporated the Rotaract leadership into the District Executive Committee. Again, as an equal partner. It's amazing. The Rotarians are learning from the Rotaractors and vice versa. The transition rate and the dual membership is growing. Rotaract clubs are forming on their own and are now beginning to charter and supervise Interact clubs. And there's even more good news. In another move, the Rotary International Board has permitted Rotaract clubs to serve as sponsors to new Rotary clubs. There are tons of examples of this type of collaboration across the world, and yet it is clear that we still have a lot of work to do. Alex, can you share a bit more with us about this journey and how we as Rotarians can have an impact on those in Interact and Rotaract?
Absolutely, Joe. And first, I'd like to say that I think we have learned so much from working together, Joe, in preparation to be together today. This partnership between us says a great deal about the emphasis and priority that Rotary puts on developing connections between members of the Rotary family. Genuine connections that are rooted in respect, appreciation, and a desire to utilize the unique perspective that each person brings to the table. This mindset has the potential to shape or ensure our organization and our work remains relevant and sustains long into the future. I'd also like to share a little bit more about this journey. I have had the distinct privilege of beginning my adventure in Interact and am now a dual member of both Rotaract and Rotary. As I reflect, it has truly been the partnership and empowerment of my Rotarian mentors that has made these transitions possible. With every step of my journey, a Rotarian has been there to understand my goals, cultivate the skills I want to develop, invest in my vision for change by providing intentional opportunities for me to speak, serve, and contribute to the work our organization does around the world. Every single Rotarian, though, that has had an impact on my life has asked me some version of the same two questions. Number one, what are you hoping to contribute and gain from this experience? And number two, how can we work together to make that vision possible? And today, we ask you to reflect on the critical importance of these two simple questions. In asking me these questions, Rotarians provided a sense of empowerment, confidence, and purpose. These questions emphasize that we are all members of one Rotary family and that we are on this journey together. We must go back to our districts and ask these questions of each member. These questions represent three critical components of a larger discussion. Joe, do you have any guesses as to what the first of these three things might be?
My first guess would be partnership.
Yes, partnership rooted in collaboration. And collaboration means truly working to engage one another at each step of the process. Rotaractors and interactors have so much more to offer that extends beyond volunteering at our events. Joe, any guesses for the second component?
Alex, I'm going to say relationship building.
You would be right, Joe. Spending time getting to know the unique value in one another, our strengths, our reservations, and our experiences allows us to appreciate one another and develop lasting, authentic relationships. These relationships make our work more powerful and impactful. And lastly, these questions represent equity. And equity in this sense means meeting people exactly where they are in their lives and saying, you are valuable, your talents and perspectives are needed in our organization. Let's find a place for you that allows you to be effective, to grow, and to experience fulfillment. Keeping these three things in mind, we encourage each and every one of us to embody this perspective and model this behavior at home. Leading by example has the power to shape the lives of our interactors, Rotaractors, and Rotarians, as well as the impact that our organization has in our communities. This focus has the potential to result in lifelong, committed members of our Rotary family.
And so, we have a final call to action. The first part of persuasion is the act of listening. Go home and ask these two big questions of your Rotaractors and Interactors. 1. What are you hoping to contribute and gain from this experience? And 2. How can we work together to make that vision possible?
And the second part of persuasion is a demonstration of commitment to their interests. Show that you understand their issues and are prepared to invest in their growth. And finally, bring them on board as equal partners, incorporating their ideas, developing plans, and taking action together. This is critical to establishing change and embracing a fresh approach in our organization, and thus increasing our impact. Our diversity is our strength, and that is truly the magic of Rotary. Thank you.